From AIT Studios in Abuja, Nigeria, this is the O&M Sunday Show with Obiora Ilo and Mamode Akuga.
Hello there and welcome to your show. It is the O&M Sunday Show. I am Obiora Ilo. Mamode is not around today, but doing a lot of things that will help make sure we have a better program next week. Well, there's so much happening around the world, around the country, developments everywhere. But today we are going to be a little selfish because we are going to turn a blind eye to most of these developments and focus on someone who has been described as a cultural icon. She's a singer, an actress, but before all that, she was a journalist and broadcaster. At a point, she became a politician and at other times, administrator. She was a former chairman of the Imo State Arts and Culture Council. Yes, that was it. And very recently, she was the CEO of the Women Development Center. I didn't get that quite right, but we'll get to know all about her in a moment. I'm talking about the one that has been called the Elegant Stallion, ONYEKA, ONWENU. I'm sure our cameras, she's already here in the studio, so our cameras will have her. And in a moment, she'll be joining me to talk about some of her travails in her most recent job. And when we do that, we'll move from this serious corner and go to the sofa, where we'll talk about that beautiful side of her that a lot of us will remember, her career in music, and what the future holds for this great, multi-talented Nigerian. So don't go away. Today we are talking about ONYEKA, ONWENU. And when we return, ONYEKA will be joining me here in the studio. Don't go away.
Jesus and he's holy, but oh, how he loves me. This my God, I want to praise his name. He is wonderful, yes. He is beautiful, yes. He's so lovely, he loves me so tenderly. This my God, forever the same. And it's love, his love, his love, his love. He protects me and he guides me. He covers me and he hides me under the shadow of his wings.
What she knows best how to do. And she's joining me right away, ONYEKA, ONWENU. It's our pleasure to have her in our studio.
How are you?
You're welcome.
Thank you. Where should I sit?
Please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
and still looking radiant, still looking. Oh my God! The first time I ever saw you was in the early 80s. You just joined the Anambra State Broadcasting Service.
Yes,
you were one of the
ATV.
newscasters
Yes,
then.
yes.
So a pretty long time. And
Very long time.
You changed, but not quite. So what's the secret?
God. Just God and His grace.
Okay, so when you, I'm sure when you go out, when you're driving, when you go to the airport, everybody's like, ONYEKA, how do you feel? Of course, I know you're used to it now. After
I am, but I don't take it for granted. I'm honored, and I thank God for it. Sometimes it does get in the way, but you grin and bear it, because to be so honored, it's a marvelous thing, and you should be grateful for it.
Okay, we'll start our conversation here, and then we'll move over to where we call the sofa, because we're going to, you've become someone with so many departments. So, but, in the last couple of days, you've been in the news. Some say for the right reasons, some say for the wrong reasons. Of course, like the rest of Nigerians, we woke up, we heard the federal government had asked chief executives of
26
parastatals to leave.
Yes.
And that in your own establishment, which is the National Center for Women Development, what we heard was that you resisted going like the others. Some went to the ridiculous extent of saying you had said you sued Mr. President, and back and forth, and then you had your own rebuttal and all that. But here you are.
Yes.
Would you kindly tell us what exactly happened?
All right. We all got the news, and to be honest, I was relieved. It's been two and a half years almost of hard work in the midst of great challenges. No money to work with, and you still have to achieve. But we thank God for all that we were able to achieve. I received the news with gratitude to God. I briefed the management. I was even the one that was consoling people and saying, oh, look, it's not the end of life, and life continues, and I will always, if you ever need me for anything, that kind of thing. And we started preparing the handover notes. And then a lot of noise started filtering through to the office. And we found out that some people had gathered outside, and they had
Was it on the day you got information, or the
No,
next
no,
day?
the day I was handing over,
Okay.
the next day, they had seized my car keys, the key to my official car, which was to take me home. And we asked why. They said, some people said the union. I said, but what's the problem? I never even got a petition written, not one written against me. So what's going on? Maybe I can address the issue. The people started now saying, you need to call the police. And it was a gentleman who is a member of the House from Katsina who actually got so concerned that he called the police. And what was it? That some people had vowed they were going to disgrace me. It originated from the person that who was the acting DG when I took over. And we had a lot of issues with him. He works there, his wife works there, his brother-in-law works there. A lot of things were going wrong. We moved him from the estate department because overnight, 3 of our generators were cannibalized. Oh, this kind of sabotage was going on. In any case, he vowed to disgrace me out of office. I was going to walk away peacefully and go home. We managed the situation. Ultimately, about 10 policemen, armed policemen, had to come. And some of the management staff now saw me down to the car, and they were booing, they were calling me names. The
management staff?
They saw me to the car. And the people that had gathered outside, and even along the corridor, we could see some people who were waiting along the corridor for me. For what purpose? I don't know. Some of them were disengaged staff, because some agencies normally send us staff, and then they go. Some of them were outsiders. I couldn't recognize who they were. In any case, we were managing this situation, and I got into the car, and I was going to go home quietly and thank God that, look, this is over. Except that journalists kept calling me and said, oh, we hear you're going to sue Mr. President. we hear you refuse to hand over. Why would I refuse to hand over? There are 26 of us who were disengaged. I mean, I've been there for 2 years and 5 months. I've done my best. And everybody could acknowledge that what we did within that period of time was so much. I mean, how did we do it? We don't know. So why would I want to sue Mr. President? He has the authority to hire and to fire. So what is it? Now I had to now put out my own story, because the names that were being called, Ndi Igbo were being insulted. I was being insulted as an Igbo woman who had come to a place that didn't belong to me. All kinds of things were being thrown at me, and spitting and banging on the car that they are going to do me in. I would have still left it, but then I had to answer these press statements. And by the way, members of the press had been invited, not by me, but by the people who organized this fiasco. The reason that it is good to speak out is it's not the first thing this sort of thing has happened at the center. But people keep quiet. And because we all keep quiet, it keeps happening. And I said, I am proud to be an Igbo woman, as you or anyone else should be proud to be where God put them. I respect everybody and love everybody, but I don't need to be abused because I'm an Igbo woman. That's all. And some people are taking that to mean that I don't like people from different parts of... No, that's not my life. It never has been. I am a proud Igbo woman and a proud Nigerian, and I have served this country. I love this country. Come to think of it, I'm not married to an Igbo man. I married a Yoruba Muslim. My children bear Muslim names. How can I hate Yorubas or hate Muslims or hate Ndi Hausa or Ndi Fulani or whoever? I love everybody. This country should be for all of us. When you see something wrong, please say so. Don't try to cover it, because it's ONYEKA today, tomorrow it will be somebody else.
Okay, before that Tuesday and before the disengagement, were you having issues with members of your staff?
There is nowhere
or like this particular man that you have talked about. Was there any
If you know what the center looked like before I went in there, you would understand that you would have issues. The place was a mess. It was rotten. The guest house had water seeping into the walls. Fire had got at the place. They hadn't renovated it. In fact, you would not put your house help in there. The same with the hostel, the same with the auditorium, the same with the training arts and craft building. A lot of things had got, nobody remembered the National Center for Women Development anymore. Nigerian women were not getting their money's worth, because these were the women that donated money to have this place built. I mean, the center was down. And within 6 months, when I got there, less than 6 months, things began to turn around. So obviously, there are people who want to maintain the status quo, and you've come. First of all, you, this musician, was the first thing I got. And you, this Igbo woman, you know. And me, I'm a hard worker. If you give me a job to do, I am going to do it well. If I'm unable to, I will give you back your job and go home. And I thought that the issues were so important. I mean, it's about Nigerian women. It's about their development. It's about carrying them along. It's about them having a better life. And I was going to give it my best, and I did. Obviously, there are some people who would not like it, but then there'll be many people who liked it.
Okay, because while all this happened, you know, we are talking to a couple of people, and some of the people on the other side, they have accused you of high-handedness in running the affairs of the National Center for Women Development. They said you didn't carry them along. I don't know how true that was.
That could be if you are insisting that people come to work on time. That could make you high-handed. That could be if you frown at people taking 6 months and staying at home and getting their salary. That could be if people leave for work, come in, go out, if people don't do their work. How do you run a place when people don't show up for work? That's not high-handedness. That is trying to give the Nigerian people their worth. And that's what I tried to do. Not carry them along. I probably had more management meetings than anybody else. And people on the management staff would tell you, I never took one decision by myself. I was able to carry them all along, and also the general staff. Imagine that for every DG there would be petitions this high. But for ONYEKA, when not one single petition was written, and the staff loved the changes I was bringing there because their welfare was number one. But you will always have trouble.
Are you earning salaries?
Mbano, I don't pay salaries. The government pays them directly. But the people that we pay are the people, the cleaners. And I used to, at the time when we couldn't pay them, I would pay them with my own salary. My own salary comes and I distribute it amongst the cleaners. Because we were owing them for 3 months, no money, 4 months, no money. How can we do that? Go and ask. I used to distribute my own salary for the cleaners. That's how passionate I was about the center.
Okay, when this happened, of course, your, in quotes, opponents said that you exaggerated this name calling, the Igbo woman and all that you were just looking for a way to play the ethnic card. Did you ever have issues like that before this disengagement? I
don't have to exaggerate because they brought in the press. And there's a Guardian reporter that Miriam Nembe is her name. And I wish that she would stand up wherever she is if she's hearing this and acknowledge. There were other, I believe I heard they brought channels and they refused to show the footage. Whoever was there, please speak up because it was bad. It was very bad. And yes, we've had things like this happen. At a point, I had to call a town meeting because we got word that there was a fatwa, that they said I was moving away all northerners. And I called a town meeting and said, how could anyone say that? I'm not allowed to hire, haven't hired anyone. Moving away, doing what with them? I don't care if you're my mother, if I'm having to work with you and you're not performing, in order to get things done, I will move you to another department and bring somebody who can perform. I mean, it was within my authority to do that. And I did that for good reasons on the occasions that I had to do that. If I didn't apply myself to the job, the achievements which Nigerians can attest to that took place in the National Center for Women Development, please go there now and check. Those achievements would not have happened. I apply myself to whatever job you give me. I take it seriously. I don't play favorites. I don't have time for that. In fact, I'm harder on you if you are close to me. I am harder on you because you should know better not to disgrace me. So anyone that didn't perform, whether you're Igbo, whether you're whatever, Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, Efik, whatever, I just took the decisions that I had to take. But I found it really sad, and this cuts across the board, not just at the National Center for Women Development. Nigerians, in the civil service, there's a lot of slack. People don't come to work. People don't come to work on time. People don't want to do anything. They just go around. You see them standing in groups. I stopped all that. It doesn't matter whether you're Igbo. It doesn't matter whether you're Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Ibiram. Anywhere you are a Nigerian. If you've been hired to do a job, you're being paid for it, please do that job.
Do you think that being a woman contributed to the challenges you had?
But of course. Because many of them, you would ask them to do something, they look you up and down. Like, who is this woman telling me to do something? They had that attitude. And you forget that you're working at the National Center for Women Development. It's not for men's development. Go build your own and go work there. And I am the DG. I happen to be a woman. I'm sitting on this seat. I am going to do my job.
But now that we're talking about it, when you are CEO and you don't pay salaries of your workers.
No, the government pays directly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Does it not affect your control?
No, it doesn't. Why should it? You get paid by government. You are working for government.
So whether they do the job or not, who determines whether the job was well done?
Well, I'm overseeing the job. So I will, together with management staff, I will determine whether the job is done or not. And I never fired anybody. It wasn't, I mean, I don't have the right to fire anybody. I didn't have the right to hire anybody.
But you could discipline.
Yes, well, how do you discipline? You write a query and say, please explain why you have been away from work for 3 months, or why you consistently come to work at 11 o'clock and leave by 3 o'clock. How does the government get its money's worth if this is what workers are doing? Please tell me.
Okay, well, before we talk about, I mean, because for a lot of Nigerians, this is some distraction when you're talking about ONYEKA ONWENU. You know, there's so much other things to talk about.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a break in a while,
Yes.
and then move over to the soft side and talk about your music, your career, and all that. But I have just one more question to ask.
Yes.
If you're asked to do another government job, with all that has happened, would you accept it?
I was raised to be a person of integrity and hard work. It was all the example I saw before me. My father died by the time I was 4.5. My mother was 36. I'm the last. The least anyone has in my family is a master's degree. This woman raised us to be hardworking. My father died 2 weeks before he was to be made the Minister for Education for Nigeria. He was the first R&D man in the Federal House. That's my background. The Principal Secretary of Igbo State Union, working with ZCOB. That's my father. So I know nothing else but to apply myself. So anywhere God sends me is where I go. I did not lobby for this job. I couldn't even remember the National Center for Women Development, what it looked like. And I went and studied it. I said, oh, okay, God. And I prayed. And everything I had been doing before then actually prepared me for this job. And I thank God for his grace. I'm happy leaving. What we achieved there is monumental. And nobody can take that away from Nigerian women. It is theirs. So if he provides another opportunity without fear, I will go and I will do what God has called me to do. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
My life rests with him.
Okay, we'll take a break. And when we return in the sofa, we'll get to know more about ONYEKA. ONWENU. Don't go away.
Fine young girl, love is there for body. This thing they call love, not serious affair. Make you think well before you agree. I beg, if you love life, you go plan am well. Oh yes, man. If you love me, you go wait for me. My dear friend, life is there for your front. Take your time, oh, make you no spoil 'em. If you make children, are you ready to care? If you love life, you go plan on well. You dey hear me, so if you love me, you go wait for me. Having babies, no be joke. You go feed them, you go give them clothes, give them love too. If you never ready to carry the load, why put down for another person head? Plenty children they say, insurance for old age. Papa said make we marry, Mama said make we born. Plenty children there, but no future it, oh my friend. This kind life, not so wahala. For you to, if you love me, you will wait for me. Happy parents, make happy children. Happy family, that na happy country. Make you plan well, enjoy your life. Oh, if you love me, you go plan with me. If you love me, you go wait for me. Wait for me, baby, plan with me. Wait for me, baby, plan with me. To let me grow. Wait for me, baby, plan with me. Wait for me, baby, plan with me. Baby, plan with me. Plan with me.
Everybody will actually forget this song because I remember the build up to that song. I think it was a PR gimmick. There were stories about, oh, ONYEKA is dating Sonny. ONYEKA is dating Sonny. Sonny is dating, oh,
We
they
even
say-
have a daughter.
you know, there was, but we didn't know they were planting all those stories at that time.
No, we did not.
You did it. So, but it was a song that made quite an impact. You know, it was the era of Planned Parenthood,
Yes.
Planned Families, and all that.
Yes.
And you've done a lot of collabos. You know,
Yes. I started collabo with King Sunny Ade. The first one was Mada Alone in the 90s. That was the first time two Nigerian artists had come together, and that was on my album. And then he called me and said, look, there are these songs that we need to write about family planning. And then we did two more. So altogether we did 3 before anybody else started doing all that.
Okay, ONYEKA, let's go back. You know, I said I met you. I think you just came back from the United States. About that time, and then you were a newscaster and all that. Did you always prepare yourself for journalism, for music, for acting? You know,
I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communications and International Relations from Wellesley College, and did my master's in Media Studies. So I wanted to be a journalist. But I also knew that I would go into singing. In fact, my mother, who was a renowned songwriter, she wrote Ochiedike, and an actress too. She was just incredible. She kept saying to me, don't forget your music. But in my family, you have to get your education first before, if you want to be a street sweeper, after that, help yourself. So after my education, I knew that I wasn't just going to be a journalist, that I was going to do anything else that I wanted. And of course, starting with music, I released my first album, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Is history.
Then came acting as well. Then came politics, which I never thought I was going to go into. But even though my father was a politician, I never thought. I just decided after people kept coming to me, and I was putting many people through school, helping many families, I realized as an individual, I couldn't do more, and I wanted to do more. And I thought, let me vie for local government chairmanship. If I can help my people at that level, I'll be very satisfied. But of course, the proverbial level playing ground was never provided. In fact, there were no elections actually held. It was, you know, appointment this and that and that. And I didn't get in. And I had gone back to Lagos and was facing my music before the call to come and serve at the national level came. And through this service, I've been working as I do my shows. I've been doing my shows. It's very difficult to leave. And I've been doing songs. I'm sure AIT has been showing Not Alone, which was the song I wrote for advocacy for the IDPs. It's something that is very close to my heart. In fact, at the National Center for Women Development in December, we trained 50 IDP women. We took on 22 of their children, kept them for 2 weeks, dealt with their medical issues, gave them, working with UNHCR, gave them money, gave them equipment. Many of them, my brother, have set up businesses in Borno. We have a woman who's running a restaurant there and employing other people. They are hairdressers, they are sewing clothes. I mean, to just see how lives can be changed, that's what gives me pleasure. That's what gives me fulfillment. And you can use music as a great tool for advocacy. And it's a joy to be part of it.
You know, a lot of young people, you know, when they see ONYEKA, ONWENU, distinguished, fulfilled, you know, known everywhere.
I want to tell people that I'm sweating because the studio is hot. I'm not going to hide AIT anymore.
Well, a little hiccup.
Okay.
But we apologize.
All right. I'm
apologize
okay.
for that.
Just so they know.
You promised me you were not going to do that.
I didn't promise.
Okay, so, you know, they see you and they're in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, they want to get to where ONYEKA is today without working for it. And here you are telling us you lost your father at the age of 4.5.
Yeah.
How was it? What sustained you and your family? And what sustained you as a little girl who was fatherless at that early age, and the father who played a prominent role, provided almost everything, and suddenly he was no more?
My father was my soulmate. I was his favorite, and he never apologized for that. I mean, I was treated, I think he spoiled me, to be honest. But then my mother, and I thank God, she's late now, she died at 93. Uche, they don't make them that way anymore. Uche was a marvelous human being, strong woman, who took her children and her family, because she kept the extended family. After my father died, she didn't send her, my father took on nieces and nephews, anyone. My mother did not send any one of them away. And she raised all of us. And she took us and put us inside Christ. That's the strength that I have. I don't think that you come to this world just for nothing. I think each and every single one of us, we have our sphere of influence. You have yours, you're doing it right now. I have mine. And it's to look at that, the gift that you have been given, and say, how do I use this to make my environment a better place? And that's what my mother taught me. As a little girl, 3 years old, she would take me to sing for motherless babies' homes. And I remember that they would put me on the table and she would stand beside me, and she would have taught me my own part in the song. We used to do these wonderful duets. And that was how I grew up.
You mean you started singing at 3?
Oh, yes, I did.
Did your father hear you sing?
I don't recall. He was a very busy man, but as soon as he got home, it was games. We had games that we played and that nobody else knew. And today, you know, people who know us will call me the names that he used to call me. And I used to get a shilling a day. This was 1956. A shilling was a lot of money. But that was my allowance.
Every day?
Every day.
But mom did not allow you to spend it. Of course.
Never mind mom, all the neighborhood children, my own siblings, everybody would surround and we will all spend the money. Yes.
And you managed, that was a lot of money, right?
That was a lot of money.
So you started singing at 3?
Yes.
And how did you keep it? How did you checkmate yourself that you waited for so many years before you exploded? I mean, if you love singing from 3, how could anyone have told you, oh, look, ONYEKA, you can't sing until you come home with a degree? No,
I kept singing in school. Every school I attended, I was singing, but I wasn't doing it professionally. In my family, education was so important. You couldn't be the daughter or son of DK ONWENU and not go to school. I mean, it's just unheard of. My father was an educationist. He was the principal of Enitonia High School. Before then, Baptist High School in Port Harcourt. And he went to Furabe when it was very difficult to get into a university. And then Durham University, and then coming back to serve his people. So how could the daughter of DK ONWENU not go to school? It would be a shame and it would be a dishonor to my father's name. So that was important. And I loved going to school. I loved acquiring knowledge. I haven't stopped. I keep acquiring knowledge every day. The day you stop, you're finished and it's time to pack it up. But you should keep learning, even from younger people, even from people who are not in your so-called class, have a lot to teach you. There is something called the University of Life. And I love old people. I like to sit with them. Some of my best friends are older women, much older than I am. And they are very good friends. And we will sit and we will gist and we will compare notes and I will learn so much. I also have the younger people and I'm learning so much from them. I have 2 guys in the house that, you know, they teach me about being young because I had to learn how to operate the computer because they made so much fun of me that I said, look, I'm not having these jokes anymore. So I had to do the right thing. So life is a continuous process of learning, of giving and taking. And no matter what situation you have gone through, count it all good because all things work together for good. Even this last one, I've learned something from it. I've impacted also many people who were close to me and worked with me, have learned a lot from me and I from them. It's all good.
Okay, we take a break and
yeah, for the sweat.
When we return, ONYEKA talked about the guys at home. We need to get to know more about them. Don't go away.
Kama enyene dem kwa kanda basibom mboko no mi enyene dem kwa kanda basibom mboko no mi sai mboko no mi momi yele fo kama abasiyo kama kansiyo mboko no mi enyene dem kwa kanda basibom mboko no mi sai.
I'm grateful, Daddy. I'm grateful. Maki fenini ne melonunua. I'm grateful. Magalumu na matego siya sometimes. I'm grateful. ONYEKA, Papa. I'm grateful. Oh no, mama. I'm grateful, Daddy. I'm grateful. Maki fenini ne melonunua. I'm grateful. Sometimes I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Mo dúpẹ́ o, mo wá ṣọpẹ́ o. Mo dúpẹ́ o, fóore tí bàbá ṣe. Ó fún mi láyọ̀, ó tún ṣẹ́gun fún mi. Òṣùbà rere o, bàbá mo wá dúpẹ́ o.
In any language, in any way you want to, just say thank you
to this great God of ours, merciful and kind and sweet and loving to his children. The Yorubas would say, Eshe, Jesu, Edo, Osanobua, Obihu. Ndị Igbo daalụ Chineke imela, Hausa na-agote Yesu. Urobo, Ogene Wakobio, Abasi Sesongo, that's Efe. And Zulu would say Siabonga. Even the French would say merci.
I think that this song, Praise, was also in your collaboration tradition. Because, we kept seeing a lot of people.
You brought a lot of young people
Yes.
in to teach them about the art of using your talent for other people, for God, for the community, for
I
society.
remember the 100-year song that you did.
The
You led us
centenary song.
Yeah, the centenary song.
That's an incredible.
Yes, I
it's an
like
incredible
the
song.
classical
Just an incredible
background.
song. Just an incredible song.
Who wrote the song?
I did.
Including the instrumentation, the arrangement?
No. It's the producer that does the
Oh,
arrangement for
that
the-
was great.
Beautiful. Wale
That was-
Oni is just an incredible
that was great.
producer. But when I say I wrote it, I really am claiming something that God did, because I write in a peculiar way. I pray and I download from God. I know people will find it hard to believe until they actually see me in action. That's how I write songs. The songs come. And I quickly have to record it as it comes, because if I don't, I will forget it. The same thing with Not Alone. The producer has to say, no, bring a mic, or please just record whatever she's singing. And after that, I have to go back and listen to it and now fill it up and learn the song myself. That's just how it happens.
Okay, just before we took the break, I went to an area you'd like to protest. You protested.
Yes, I did.
And a lot of Nigerians, a lot of them love you though. But some criticize you because they say you've built this giant wall around you and your family.
I'm just a private person.
They hardly know anything about your
I'm
family.
a private person.
They know
Something's bad.
They know you have kids, but they're never going to talk about it.
No, my kids are very independent. First of all, we don't answer the same name. They answer their father's name. Me, I answer my father's name. But they even don't like you to know, because they want you to recognize them for what they bring to the table. Then after that, you can know that ONYEKA. They don't like to use the name to get things. No, they want to work for it. And I don't know how they got this marvelous idea, but I'm loving it, because they are going out and striving and making efforts on their own, and not saying, oh, I'm ONYEKA son, do this for me, do that for me. I absolutely agree with them, and I love them.
But why don't you like talking about their father?
When you meet me after this program, I will talk to you. Meet me one-on-one, and I will tell you all about it. But I don't want to be assessed, or rather, I want my work to speak for me. I don't want to be categorized because of who I'm married to or not married to, or whether I'm married or not married. No. I am ONYEKA.
Some people think it has
Adamazi. Adamazi.
Some people think it has to do with women liberation.
No. It's just, call it women's lib. I don't like to deny or confirm. Call it anything you want. But please, I want to be judged for what I do as a person, not whether I am married or who I'm married to. And everybody likes their privacy. So I just don't want, is she married or is she not? I am just me doing my work, number one.
But again, no matter how much we complain about it, you've turned out to be one of the few Nigerian superstars who got married, kept their marriage, kept their family.
I'm not even going to go there.
How did it work?
So change
how
the
did
subject.
How did it work?
You are cornering it from another way. Who said I'm married? Who said I'm not married? He's trying to corner it another way.
Okay, well, I won't push it. But have you found love? Did you find love?
Obviously, for me to have these two boys, I would have had.
Okay, so you have played a lot of, you've made a lot of effort mentoring younger musicians, both men and women. What informed, this determination that you must work with the young ones?
why not? To encourage them, to lend a helping hand. There's no musician who has called on me who is serious that I haven't equally reached out to, shared my own experiences, given advice, and given a little bit of a helping hand. That's something I do passionately, because the young shall grow. And it's what God enables you to do, to deposit something in someone else and not just hold the knowledge to yourself. How do you help society that way? There was a question you asked me earlier about young people thinking that you just jump in. And what I didn't share with you, and I share with those that I mentor, is the fact that my father having died, my mother was 36 when she lost her husband. I was 4.5. And my mother struggled and did everything that she could. When I got to the US to go to school, sometimes I had 3 jobs doing it in order to help looking after myself. And I worked as a dishwasher in an old people's home, in hospitals, in restaurants. You work as a babysitter, you work as a sales girl while going to school. I had a scholarship from Wellesley College for my BA, but I bought my own clothes, looked after myself during the summer, bought my own books. For my master's, I didn't have a scholarship. I paid my way. I was working then at the United Nations and going to the New School for Social Research in New York in the evenings. And I had other jobs at the side to help myself. I didn't find it demeaning that I was washing dishes. Don't look at ONYEKA and think she suddenly arrived. I didn't think, oh, my father was such and such, my mother, and here I am. No, I just stayed focused, and that's one thing God has given me the grace to be able to do. You can be doing anything around me. That's where I want to go. That's what I want to achieve. That's precisely what I'm going to do. So that helped me.
You keep your eye on the ball.
On the ball.
All the time.
All the time. And that helped me growing up. So you now see me and you think, oh, she's made it, she's this and that and that.
And it was such a smooth road.
No, it was not.
There was so many narrow paths.
Oh my goodness. But I thank God for loving me and protecting me, because there are so many other ways you could have gone, but He kept me really, really focused. So I'd like to share this with young people and say, don't look at today and what you're going through. That's not your life. Learn whatever lessons you need to learn, and that would help you to grow into whom God has made you to be. Just remain focused.
Okay, I would apologize, but I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say you are a snob, you are arrogant, and is that true? Or are there things you do that will make people, have that kind of impression?
I'm actually a very shy person and really quite boring. I'm the sort of person, I go to work, I go home. That's how I know to keep myself out of trouble. I don't party, I don't hang around and say, yeah, oh, yeah. No, that's not my life. I wasn't raised like that. So and I was raised to have confidence in myself and in the God who made me, to respect myself and respect other people, love myself and love other people. Really, if you don't love yourself, you wouldn't know how to love somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I carry myself with a bit of dignity and integrity. So people may see that as being a snob, but you should see me in the village, breaking kernel. I'm like my father. My father will sit with the old women and cut oranges and treat everybody's wound and that sort of thing. That's me. I work in the garden. I'm boring at home. In fact, when you're talking about ONYEKA, my children look at me. That's our mom. It's this one that we see all the time. I said, Mom, why are people always raving about you? I said, no, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't understand.
Just leave it. No, I'm not a snob, and I'm not. Far from it. Just self-respecting, that's all.
Okay, you worked out how you would survive in this very unfamiliar world, and people may assume it's the other way. I think it happens. Yeah. Looking forward, if anybody's talking about music today in Nigeria, they will talk about you.
Hey, that's good.
What do we have to take out? I mean, some people have said we have to take out the erotic scenes we see today
It's too much.
in videos,
It's
the
too much.
nakedness,
It's too much.
the nudity.
And it's always the women doing the nakedness, and I wish the men could do the nakedness and the nudity. So let us all see them too.
It will be balanced.
It will balance. But it's the women.
So what
It's a
should
bit
we
too much.
add? What should we do, to move? I mean, it's become a big industry. Showbiz in Nigeria.
It's become
acting.
pornographic at this point. It is becoming pornographic. And I think organizations like DSTV, Mnet should really watch it. It's become pornographic. How do you put on the TV just innocently in your house with children around? I used to say to my boy, close your eyes, close it. They make a joke of it. Close your eyes, because I couldn't run fast enough to go and turn that thing off. And I'm thinking that, hey, we're having a nice program. And I like to watch TV. I like to watch what they're watching. And suddenly you see all this. I go, close your eyes, close your eyes. Mom is coming, close your eyes, close your eyes. I shouldn't have to do that. That is very bad. And I think that we have to look into it as a society, because the impression, the image, what it's creating in the minds of young people is that everything is all about sex, nudity, sell your body. And we're seeing the results: trafficking, prostitution, drugs, all that. It's all tied in together. It's tied to the pornography that you're seeing on TV.
So we should
and
take
it's
it
very
out.
bad. We should take it out. Or lessen it a little bit.
Are you going full blast now? Back to entertainment? You were there while you were doing what you were doing.
I never left it. Hello.
247?
I really would like to do more. My last effort in movies was Half of a Yellow Sun.
Yes.
That was a meaty role. I absolutely enjoyed it.
Beautiful film.
I'd like to have more roles like that, but they don't come around every day. But there are many things.
Is it because of the pay? The pay is not
The
good
pay
enough?
wasn't even that good. I did it from the passion of my heart. The story was just wonderful. It's time for Nigeria. Let's try doing things about our history. Let's teach our history to younger people. Let's not put things away. Don't deal with it until it springs up and bites you in the face. Let's talk. Let's open up. This happened, that happened. Let's teach the children. Because having witnessed the Civil War, I don't think I want to go through that again. I don't think I even wish it
on anyone,
to go through that again. People that are agitating now, let's listen to them. There's a reason they're agitating. I don't really believe that they want to go to war, but let's listen to them. If someone has a grievance, allow them to air those grievances. Let's treat each other with respect and honor. Let's accept ourselves for who we are. We are equal partners in this country. If we begin to deal with each other in that way, there will not be another war. Nigeria would be a better place. This is a wonderful country that God has blessed us with.
Well, we'll take it home. Let's listen to those that are shouting. They want to be heard. And that way we can avoid another war. Thank you, ONYEKA, for coming on our show.
You.
I don't know how to thank you with all the inconvenience and all that. But I have this little gift, something you can put on your table.
I love coffee in the morning.
Yes, and use it for coffee from time to time.
And I'll be thinking of your show. Thank you.
Yes.
And the sweating that I was making.
It won't happen again. I'm sure you'll be back. When you have a new
broadcaster,
new
these things
stuff,
happen.
It happens once in a while. And that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I enjoyed spending this 1 hour with the elegant stallion, ONYEKA, ONWENU. I am Obiora Ilo from Abuja in Nigeria. Let's do it again Tuesday night. Thanks for watching.